What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rants Red Talk, where we discuss all the topics you send through to me on Twitter. And of course, we are sponsored by the One Football app. Guys, links in the description for all your up-to-date football news. Make sure you scroll down there and download the app. By the time you see this, it's going to be tomorrow, and United are going to be playing Aston Villa. So my match review / match reaction will be out not too long after this, probably a few hours after this. So yeah, like, hopefully we do our thing in it. But yo, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. First one, Jack Pearson at Mr. Maxson, a regular on here, always comes with the A1 questions. Do you think the bigger problem with our team is that Ollie's assistants also have fuck all experience and standing in the game? Ollie strikes me as a man manager and not a coach. Fair assessment. So he's relying on absolute novices implement a winning style of play for the biggest club in the world. I think that that's a very, very good assessment. I think that's a very good way of looking at it. You're right. I think Ollie is a good man manager, or just a man manager, which is why he probably got the run that he got. Like I said before, it wasn't Ollie's coaching that got us that 14-game run. It was the fact that the United players had been dealing with Mourinho's bullshit for so long. They just needed an arm around them, innit? And then man went into autopilot. They ran their socks off. They gave it all. And then they ran out of ideas. And then that was Ollie's turn to start coaching something into them. And he's got nothing, bro. Like, from what I've been hearing, the drills are shit. I've heard a lot of players aren't really happy with the kind of football that we're playing, like, in terms of what's been implemented in training. It's very old school. It's very British, to be honest, like, and it just lacks flavour. Like, it's dead, bruv. Like, and there's players from within the squad that think this, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Man can't really say too much. Do you know what I mean? But I got sources, bruv, and I'm not talking about the HP kind, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's all dead. A lot of men are not happy with the style of play that Ollie's implemented. They're not happy with the standard and the level of the coaching and the training. And think about it, a lot of these players have been coached by either Sir Alex Ferguson, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho. I left David Moyes out because no one cares about David Moyes. So obviously you're only gonna compare your coach and the stuff you're doing to the ones that you've had previously, innit? And clearly, Ollie's not levels, innit? And the fact that he's surrounded by inexperience means that who can he really go to? Because at the beginning, I said, I was like, boom, fuck Ollie, yeah? It's Mick Phelan that man really need to look to, because Ollie ain't got no experience, he ain't got no standing in the game. It's what Mick can do. And it looks like Mick Phelan's just fucking out of his depth as well, bruv. Like, it seems like football's moved on. And the best that Mick Phelan can offer, yeah, is putting man in fucking suits for away games, blood. Is that it? Do you know what I mean? Like, football's moved on since Sir Alex Ferguson days and when Mick Phelan was there. And I don't think, like, taking away someone's fucking chips or something like that, yeah, making them wear a suit is going to teach them how to play football. And I don't know what Mick Phelan's implementing or putting into this team, but it doesn't seem very much. And also, when there's a decision to be made, it's almost like Ollie's got everyone huddled around and all four of them are making decisions. So there's no authority. There's nothing deliberate about what Ollie does. There's no confidence, bro. Like, he's literally a nobody in football and he should not be doing that job. So the fact that he is surrounded by complete novices. Michael Carrick was kicking ball 2 seasons ago, bruv. Kieran McKenna's only managed up into the youth team. So really, when you're looking at it, if Ollie was a head coach and we had a director of football in, we had like a more experienced person beneath him or something like that, or in his ear at least, to help him, it would make sense. But right now, I think that the fact that he's got no experience around him is why, like, he's going to die slow, fam. He's going to die slow. I think that that's a very good assessment. Let me know what you think in the description, not the description, in the comments below, guys. Very good way to start. Next one. Safe 5 044. Arsenal have sacked Unai. What would it take for Oli to be sacked in the next coming games? For me, it takes any less. If he takes any less than 3 points from the next 3 games, he needs to be gone. Bruv, even that's not enough, because Tottenham at home, we should take a point from that, really. On form. We should beat Aston Villa tomorrow, but that's not a given. Again, Aston Villa at home. I wouldn't be surprised if you go and slap them like 3-0 or something, because that's what United do. Every time it looks like Ollie's about to get sacked, bro, a performance comes out of somewhere. And then this Man City game, the way Man City are playing, we shouldn't get anything, but you just never know, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? You just never know. Saying that Man City lost to drew with Newcastle. So when I say the way Man City are playing, I mean, what I meant to say was the way Man City are playing, it gives us a chance of getting something. But I just feel like against us, they will turn up. I think anything less than 4 points, man need to get sacked. Even if we lose to Tottenham and Man City, I'd still sack him, bruv. Because for me, I just don't see nothing. If you look at all the previous times, yeah, Louis van Gaal was brought in after David Moyes. That wasn't that was pretty well thought through. I think the Mourinho thing, Mourinho had been talking to United for a while when he replaced Van Gaal. I just think that the appeal of having Mourinho there meant that no matter what Van Gaal did, he was always getting sacked. And I think like Pochettino's available now. Manchester United need to be ruthless. I wouldn't be surprised if they're talking to him already. Like off the record. I wouldn't be surprised if they're talking to him already. I wouldn't be surprised if he's had a glass of wine with Sir Alex Ferguson already, blood. Just know, yeah, that like Ollie's never going to be at Poch's level regardless. Regardless. Opportunities to get someone like Pochettino for free simply do not happen. They don't come around often enough for us to bypass that. I genuinely believe, yeah, that if man get any less than 4 points, I'd sack man. And even then, bro, even if you got 9 points and then the next one, I'll still sack him, bro, because United claim to be thinking about the bigger picture. If you're thinking about the bigger picture, you don't pass up on an opportunity to get top-notch Tino, blood. A man like Maurizio. So, it's got to be done. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think is the minimum? Good old peppermint tea as well, lad. And lasses, you know what I mean? Got to keep your stomach nice and healthy. Next one. Karen Williams, we need a director of football. Woodward and Matt Judge are still in charge of everything, which is a big fucking problem. Matt Judge, bruv. United are the only top club in the world without a director of football. Yep, Mourinho wanted Luis Campos, but Woodward didn't allow him because he would lose 50% of his power. Why do people think Ollie is still the manager? Yeah, we know this, bro. We do know this, man. And the thing is, I wouldn't say that Mourinho wanted this guy, because Mourinho don't really like directors of football, blood. Mourinho would rather just do the thing himself. But I think that Mourinho preferred him of the possible candidates. You know what I mean? But Mourinho likes to bring in his own guys. He always has. Every club Mourinho's gone to, he's always bought players he's already managed. He's done it everywhere he's gone. Like I said it to people, he took Ricardo Carvalho from Porto to Chelsea to Real Madrid. I think he took Essien to Real Madrid with him as well, if I remember correctly. He does that, bro. Like, he does that. He took Deco as well from Porto to Chelsea. He took Matic from Chelsea to Man United. He had Lukaku at Chelsea, took him to Man United. Mourinho likes to go with what he knows, blood. That's what he likes to do, that. And because of that, yeah, it ain't no director of football thing. Mourinho just likes what he knows because he's a plug-filling merchant, yeah. And he knows that, yo, he doesn't trust many new players, innit? Mourinho likes these old guard, so he'll be like, yo, I'll get someone I know that can already do the job I need them to do, just so I can plug the gap and win something. That's all Jose's on. So a director of football was never going to be his choice. He was never going to be thrilled over the moon about it. So as far as him specifically wanting that guy, I don't know really. how accurate that is. One thing I do know is that we do definitely need one, and Ed Woodward is fucking incompetent. That's one thing I can 100% agree on. Owazi 2, do you think, it says hashtag Rants Red Talk, do you think the loss to Astana was based on coaching or lack of experience on the boys? I haven't seen them outplay Astana in the first 20 minutes. The team that we put out against Astana were good enough to beat Astana. There's shit in it. Like, let's be honest. It's a combination of many. Like somebody said earlier on, yeah, what's the point in giving Ollie the youth to bring them through if he's not good enough to coach them? And I agree. Bringing through youth is not just about giving them the opportunity to play in the first team. It's also about helping their development. That's what Louis van Gaal was at. He was very good at coaching young players, telling them what to do. Repetition. If any of you guys are match-going fans, you'll remember when Louis van Gaal was in charge, he used to have the players passing the ball in the formation, in the shape that they were playing in. So he would have the back four lined up across the penalty box, and he would get them passing the ball in certain sequences. That he literally coached, like the muscle memory and all of that. They say that you have to do things 10,000 times, you know what I mean, before you become an expert. Do you know what I mean? And you can only become an expert doing things repetitively again and again and again. And he used to coach players like that, no matter how experienced they were. That's where Mike Smalling, aka Cristiano Smaldini, came from, blood. Because the best season I've ever had seen Chris Smalling have was under Louis van Gaal, looking like Smaldini, and it was because he had him stepping out from the back and doing things, like simple things. Because the defensive side of the game, Chris Smalling had on smash. So I think, yeah, when you look at what Van Gaal did, like there were players like Tyler Blackett, Paddy McNair, all of these guys were coming through and looking all right. Like he was genuinely, that's what I call giving you for a chance. What Ollie's doing ain't no giving you for a chance, bruv. Like we already qualified, so we dashed the man in there. And also, I think he's under pressure because he knows his job is on the line, so he wanted to rest man for this game because he knows that these 3 games are crucial. That's what really happened, didn't it? And we saw the players, they were out there. They did what they could, but I don't think that they lost the game because they weren't good enough. I just think that it just wasn't put together properly. I think that there was a bit too much inexperience in the wrong areas, innit? I think when you're picking a team, even if you're going to blood youth and stuff like that, you have to make sure that the core has a bit of experience. And, do you know what I mean? The fact that Jesse Lingard's skipper, yeah, that tells you all you need to know. So, I think that as much as it gave them an opportunity, I think he didn't really set them up to really do much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was fair on a lot of the other guys, because I genuinely believe that if you're going to give young players a chance to thrive, the best way to do it is to put them into like a steady team or a settled team. Like when you make too many changes, I think even if one player is having a good game, you have to rely on too many men or too many things going right. And I just think that you look at Tahith Chong, he's fucking useless. Like, and you might think that might not affect other players, but it does. It affects other players when there's too many changes, bruv. So I don't know, man. I think that it's a lack of experience from the boys. I think it's a lack of coaching from Ollie, a lack of nous. Like, honestly, like I said the other day, oh, it was on Instagram, that because they're talking about a shortage of back coaches and all that bullshit, yeah. I was like, I went to the Blacklist Awards and I was actually speaking to one of the guys who's at Burton Albion. He watches my stuff and he watches the Flex and Rant show, and he played for Burton when United played Burton under Nigel Clough. And Burton have paid for his, I think his UEFA B license. Do you know what I mean? And for him to get his UEFA A license, he has to pay for it himself. And I think it's like 12 grand or something like that, bruv. You see what I'm trying to say? So, like, it's mad. A lot of these ex-players, yeah, get coaching badges and get licenses simply because they can afford it, bruv. Like, it's not because them man are like, I've got a mad IQ for coaching or anything like that. It's mad expensive, bro. Like, God knows how much the UEFA A and the pro license costs if the UEFA B's 12 bags or something like that. That's a mad thing. Do you know what I mean? I've got my level 2 and I was like, right, I'd love to get my UEFA license and all that, but I'm not paying for it, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? And then when you see that, so that's why you get bare man that ain't really got a flair for this coaching thing, yeah? Like doing it, because if you're ex-pro and you're a millionaire, like what's a 12 bag to you? Like, do you know what I mean? So I don't even know. Ollie's done a lot of things that I look at and I think, right, you've been a coach for 10 years. They say that you have to do something 10,000 times to become an expert and all of that, bruv. You've been a coach for over a decade. You're nowhere near the level that you probably should be at, yeah, to be a Manchester United coach / manager if you've got 10 years experience already. That makes me know that he's never going to be that guy, fam. So that's why I cut my losses with him. At Manny, I am 07. Hey, bro, do you think we should play Matter instead of Pereira? At least Matter can pass, create, and can be a handy free kick taker. Yes and no. I think it depends on what team we're playing. I think that Matter's lack of mobility, if we're going to play Matter every game, that means we have to build the team around him. And what I mean by build the team around him is we have to put legs in and around him to make up for what we don't get defensively and what we don't get mobility-wise. I think that he's not good enough to build the team around, so I wouldn't. But I think against the lesser teams where we can get away with not having 3 runners in midfield, absolutely. I think on a normal day, yeah, at home against most teams, you could get away with a Pogba, Matter and McTominay. You could get away with that still. I don't know about the free kicks and the set pieces because even he hits the first man. Matter's not super reliable. But I absolutely agree that probably this is his last season at the club. Well, it should be anyway. I think you just get your money's worth out of the guy, innit, bruv? His legs are nearly falling off, but while he's still got a little bit of juice in the tank, bruv, like, I'd use him a lot more than I would use Andreas, because Andreas is fucking useless, guys. Let me know, like, what do you think about One Matter? At God is great. What do you make of United Stand being invited to the pre and post match conferences and the hate from the mainstream media? Thanks. Firstly, big up man like Flex Boy. Look at this mug, bit of banter as well, blood. I don't know if you lot can read that, blood. Big up Flex. You know what it is, yeah? I like to make this thing clear because you get these guys, they're hating, yeah, because they're rattled by us, because they know that we get more engagement than us, we're bigger than them. We are the future. It stinks of, you see when the horse and carriage was out and you used to get the man riding the horse and cart picking people up, and then they invented the car, and then they invented the taxi, and then the horse and carriage was out of business. It's the same with the black cabs in London. Everyone had to memorize the roads and stuff like that, and then the sat-nav came out, and then they were hating on the new taxi drivers, saying, oh, these men don't even know the names of the streets, and we had to do all of this. We had to do our knowledge for, like, I think it's 3 years or something like that. And then these guys are come with the sat-nav. Bro, times change, innit? A Volvo become extinct. And when they talk down to football fans like we're fucking idiots, yeah, please understand, yeah, that man studied accounting. I could have got a job in the city just because I'm in the media now doing this year and making videos and stuff like that. That don't mean that I'm not articulate. It don't mean I'm not intelligent. It don't mean I'm not educated. There's nothing about these fucking journalists that make them more qualified to speak about football than me or Flex or Mark. Football fans can be lawyers, accountants, fucking architects, very fucking educated people. I've played football to a professional level. I've coached, well, I've got my coaching only up to level 2. But I tell you what, the level that I've played at and the level that I can coach at and have coached at, yeah, is probably higher than most of these fucking clickbait tabloid journalists that are going out, sitting down and doing fucking Sunday supplement and that have probably never kicked a ball in anger and never really coached no one. And most of these men don't even support the club. Football fans want the truth, bruv. That's what they want. And most of these journalists only care about headlines. So they only ask certain questions to get headlines. They don't ask the questions that the fans want to hear. So what makes these fucking guys more qualified to ask our manager what we want to fucking know, bruv? Nothing. It's pure snobbery, yeah? It's pure entitlement. But guess fucking what, bruv? Your time's done, innit? Like, you need to switch. They need to switch up how they do things, or they're going to be phased out. Don't get me wrong. I don't think every fucking Tom, Dick and Harry fan should be allowed into press conferences, because certain men are not articulate enough. They're not informed enough. And you can't really control their behavior. You don't know what they're going to do. Do you know what I mean? So when people were saying, yeah, but what if DT was in an Arsenal press conference and this, that and the other? Listen, I don't even like DT, yeah, but if he was in an Arsenal press conference, I know that he's not going to say, yo, get Unai Emery out, this, that and the other. He's going to ask a fucking question that any Arsenal fan would want to know, bruv. Like, we're still adults. We're human beings. Like, we know how we need to behave in certain places. You don't get brand deals like me and do these other things if you don't know your audience. I don't think any football fan that's right in the head, that was given an opportunity to ask a question to the manager, is going to go in and do a madness and get thrown out. I just don't believe it's going to happen, to be completely honest. These men are just rattled. That's all it is. So I think that is great. It's not something that we're going to get the opportunity to do a lot, because it just won't happen, bruv. Like, it was Astana. Kazakhstan's the football's not very big there. We're the biggest Manchester United fan channel in the world. We got given the opportunity to do it because they wanted to roll out the red carpet to us and show us how nice their country is. Do you know what I mean? And they gave us that opportunity, which is fucking amazing. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to get that in, like, if we were going to Italy or to Spain or something, we wouldn't get that. But we got that there. We allowed on the pitch, all of these things, and it's something that we arranged like months and months in advance. So no, we're not going to get the opportunity to do that a lot. Also, we're a fan channel. We want fan opinions. We want to get what the fans want. So we don't want to get too close to the club anyway, because I think that it dilutes the content and it makes it look less authentic and less reliable. I don't want to become friends with these players. I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? I don't want any of that. None of us do. You know what I mean? And this is a conversation that we've all had. We want to keep it as raw, as uncensored as possible. So getting too involved with the club isn't going to help that. But the bottom line is, like, when that woman was talking shit about Flex, I'd like to know what her credentials are. I'd want to know what level of football she played at, or what level of football she's coached at, or what age she was when she started watching football, how many hours of football she watches a week, how many different leagues in the world she watches a week. You'll be very surprised that most of these fucking journalists don't watch much football. Do you know what I mean? So these men are not more qualified to speak about football than any of you or any of us when it comes to asking, because fans probably spend more time ingesting football than these guys, because these guys, it's just a check for them. That's all it is. It's just a check. If them man weren't journalists and getting paid to comment on football, they probably wouldn't even watch it like that. So fuck them, innit? Sorry if I went on a bit of a rant, bruv, but you know where I got the name from. AKA _ Jason, bruh. It says Poch in. Yeah, nice name, bro. Is Ollie gone before Christmas? And if he leaves, how long do you think it will take someone like Poch to get us back to challenging for titles, major honours? I hope he's gone before Christmas. I can't say. One thing I can say is that he's not as safe as people think he is. A lot of people think that Ollie's got a free pass. He doesn't. The pressure's on him. The pressure's on him. Like, yeah, as I said, no HP, man's got my sources and that. The pressure's on Ollie, man, and hopefully he's gone. I'm not going to pretend. I ain't going to pretend. You know, loads of people trying to be diplomatic and that. Nah, fam. Hashtag Wally out, blood. I want him out. That he's not good enough. So someone like Poch, bruv, I don't want to talk about challenging for major honours. I just want to finish in the top 4 comfortably. I believe that Pochettino can do that within 2 seasons. Do you know what I mean? If we've got Poch in at Christmas, I believe that we finish next season in the top 4 comfortably, because Tottenham are not that far away from us, bruv. Like, they got an aging team and they probably need to buy about 6 man. Apart from Arsenal and apart from Liverpool and Man City, bruv, the last 2 spots are anyone's really. They are. I just think that bringing in Poch would cement that top 4 finish for next season. Then you can build on that again. Do you see what I mean? So I think that's what Poch gives us. Let me know what you would expect. All right. Last but definitely not least, at Mo's the boss. Leicester sold their best centre back, Harry Maguire, but they've conceded the fewest goals, 8 so far. Does this show system is more important than the player? Absolutely. The system is always more important than the player, unless the player is like Lionel Messi or something like that, bruv, because then, boy, it's all different. Do you know what I'm saying? But it is, because attacking and defending is something you do as a team. That's what I always tell people. Yes, you can have like one player that makes the thing just serious, but ultimately the whole system needs to work, especially if you're a team that presses and attacks. You need to press as a team. One player doesn't press, because if that was the case, then what? The guy that leads your press, if he's injured, what, you can't press no more? Nah, it needs to be the system. Everyone needs to press the zones. One man goes, then the next man goes, then the next man goes. It all needs to be in sequence. That's why training and drilling things are so important. And what you're seeing with Leicester is Rodgers has got a philosophy, a way of playing, and he's got these guys so well drilled that no matter who's back there, it's being done. And to be fair, Harry Maguire is a good centre-half, but he's not amazing, bruv. He's just, do you know what I mean? He's just a typical English centre-half here with a bit more tech in it. Like, he's cultured, he's good on the ball. He's very good on the ball. But in terms of actually defending and that, like, he's just good, like, do you know what I mean? He's like, I don't know, like Chris Smalling level, yeah, but with less pace, but better feet. Do you see what I mean? Like, that's what he reminds me of. Like, I don't think like he's an amazing centre half. I just think that like he just ticks all the boxes, and he's English. Like, there's levels to being like a top centre half, and I think that Laporte and Van Dijk are like 2 like world-class centre-backs in the Premier League. Other than them 2, I don't think there are any world-class centre-backs in the Premier League. I don't think there's many world-class centre-backs in the world, period. Like, when you look at world football, like, you could count on probably one hand how many centre-backs you're saying, you know what, these men are like 30. And then when you look at Thiago Silva, Sergio Ramos and all these men, they're old, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I just feel like the level of defenders and defending has just gone down over the years. So because of that, we're looking at Harry Maguire. Certain man will say that he's shit. Certain man will say that he's good, but he's not shit. He's just good, innit? And that's just what it is. So like, he's not irreplaceable. Like, so you just need to get a man that can defend a little bit, probably got a bit more pace, and you're all right, because the overall structure of Leicester hasn't changed, bruv. Like, you can get rid of one player, get rid of 2 players, but they've still kept their core. And Leicester look very good, and Brendan Rodgers looks very good, man. And if I was Arsenal, he's the guy I'd be looking at. Brenda is the guy that I would be looking at if I was Arsenal. So I don't know, man. I think you have to big up Brendan Rodgers for that. And also look at Crystal Palace as well. They gave us Wan-Bissaka, but again, it's all about the system. You swap one player out, bring someone else in, and you keep it moving, guys. And that's why I think that having a manager that has a philosophy, that knows what he's doing, is very important, because then it means that no one player is detrimental. Like, us losing Martial, like, now he's come back, we've seen just how important he was. And it's the same with Paul Pogba. And it is because of lack of quality, but also it's a lack of a system. We don't have a system. That's why we don't create that many chances. Our system is reliant on Anthony Martial holding the ball or Paul Pogba creating chances. Because without Paul Pogba, we don't create many chances. That is down to the lack of system, not necessarily the lack of quality, because there are teams with players a lot lower quality than your McTominays and that, and these men are fashioning out chances. So I think that it's very underrated systems. They can make or break certain players. You see loads of players come from certain teams, look wavy, then they go to another system, they look shit. Henrik Mkhitaryan he suffered that coming to England. He played centrally in Germany and then he got stuck out on the wing at United and Arsenal and didn't do it. He showed glimpses of what he could do in the Europa League when he played there. He was man of the match most games, but in the Premier League he just couldn't hack it, bro. And the system was a lot to do with it, but also the league. So I think system is very, very crucial, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And that was your Rants Red Talk, sponsored by the OneFootball app. As I said, make sure you hit the description. Grab the app if you haven't already. Also, your discount code's always active for your clothes in there. It's man like Rants at the checkout. So if you fancy grabbing yourself some clothes, just for fresh drip or for Christmas or whatever, I've got that ongoing discount code in the description as well. Make sure you follow me on the socials at Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram for all your trolling needs, and you know I'll be active. And yeah, I'm not at the game. I'm not at the United game, so I'll probably be tweeting live as well. So make sure you catch me there. Peace.